Welcome back, Agent Pena. Narcos got plans for Colombia. Another bloodbath complicates them.
What's the play?
We do Cali differently. Try to go up to the Cali bosses, all you'll get are more bosses.
New season, brand new storyline. Who is Javier now after Pablo Escobar?
That is a good question. I didn't really figure that out, so it's a mystery. It remains a mystery.
Yeah.
When you see the end of the second season, you think he's going to get fired, and instead he's given a promotion for essentially breaking the law. So that puts him into new territory because this is a person who functions very well in the shadows. And now he has more responsibility, he has more people to look after and more people to answer to. And that's a weird position for him to be in because he's somebody who plays by his own rules. And now the rules have changed.
Yeah. How did you prepare for your character this time?
Well, this time it was a great opportunity to go into new territory with a character that I had already established and gotten to know on my terms. And so to put him into a new situation, I was very much as an actor with the character in that I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't, they would, I would kick my feet and I'd be like, whoa, what's gonna happen? And they're like, you're gonna maybe do this and maybe do that. And I was like, okay, I gotcha. So I just had to wait for the scripts to come in and find out what was gonna happen.
Speaking of scripts, what would you say to someone, perhaps a critic, who would say something like, Hollywood has this weird obsession with Latino drug pen narratives that would benefit from being told by Latino writers or other people of color. How would you respond to that?
That's complicated because, I'm sure a place like Colombia, I'll say this, my experience of shooting the show, and we shoot the whole thing in Colombia, seasons 1 all the way through season 3, 90% locations all over Colombia. And the experience of doing that and living there while we're doing it is in complete contrast to the story that we're telling. For me, it's home, and I do not feel like I'm in danger, and I do not feel like I'm in a dangerous environment. And yet we're telling a very recent and violent history. And I think that as a country, they have every right to be exhausted by the association of violent drug worlds, and then alongside that, and the story that we're telling, which we are trying to provide as many authentic perspectives as possible: the civilian experience, the political experience, the corrupt experience, the money, the drugs, the violence, the families. Making Colombia really the main character above the cartel members or the people chasing after them.
The bigger drug story.
And what I love about the show and what I love in terms of positive cultural representation is the kinds of, the Latino directors, the Latino actors, and the Latino writers that are maybe very well known to the countries of their origin, but are finding a much larger stage because of Netflix. And some of the best talent in the world that is Latino, and sharing themselves in the show, which is ultimately what makes the show as popular as it is. I don't like it being sort of diminished to people are fascinated by violence, drugs, and sex. Just because that's maybe, maybe there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Right.
But I don't think the show would be that popular if it didn't have the texture of what the real talent is.
Certainly.
And that's the Latino talent that's involved. And because everyone's talking to me, they're like, oh my God, I want to go to Colombia.
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
yeah, because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So So there is a visual story that's also being told that I think in a way is more powerful than the crazy,
For sure. Yeah.
you know, gold-plated guns
Yeah.
and you know,
If we dig into it
suitcases
and
full of
unpack it, yeah.
cash and yeah. I mean,
Bueno, thank you so much.
oh, you're welcome. I went off on that one. That was your fault. You asked me.